What's up, tribe? How you guys doing? First and foremost, you see I got my t-shirt on again. Stand with Bennett. Please, 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 all information will be in the description box. Make a donation. $5, $10, $15, $20. It's all tax deductible. Thank you for your support. Now, let me just tell y'all, I'm just going to go off the top of my head. This is going to be my reaction, my immediate reaction. I literally just finished watching this episode, and I actually watched a lot of it again. This is Iyanla Fix My Life, the Lie Detector Part 2. Now, I think everybody figured out that the tests were going to come back that the mother lied and the father was telling the truth. So we don't need to go through all of that. But here's what we know. First and foremost, what I want to say is the one thing that Iyanla said, which she doesn't always say on the show, but I'm certain that she always makes sure that she puts things in place. Or I know, anyway. The one thing she said was that y'all are going to need some therapy. Like some intense family therapy. Second thing I want to say is it came out that the mother had been violated when she was 12. That she had been raped when she was 12. What also came out is that this woman is a liar. You know, there's a difference between if she sincerely felt like this man had violated his children and she thought she was doing what was in the best interest of her kids, and then it came out that it was not true. That's not what happened here. This woman knew that this man never did nothing to his children. And whether she was visiting her trauma onto her children, or whether she was so vindictive and angry at the relationship with this man and how things fell out. But what she has done is she has destroyed a generation in her family tree. It has been rotted. These children grew up thinking that their father raped them. And even if in their heart of hearts they didn't want to believe it or they did not believe it, they grew up with a woman who kept saying it. Y'all ever been around somebody or been that person when you told a lie so many times you started to believe it was true? So she said this so many times that maybe she did eventually start thinking it was true. But in the beginning, she knew that shit wasn't true. Even the whole popsicle stick versus blood thing, come to find out, not only did the police and the sheriff's department tell this woman that was popsicle juice, her own daughter said, "Mom, we were in the car together eating popsicles on the way home, and that's popsicle juice that's on them girls' clothes." You destroyed your older daughter. This woman is so angry and so violent. Yeah, she needs some intense therapy. She needs some serious therapy because the only way she has learned how to cope with her pain is through violence. And I deal with women like this all the time who will come up to us to the school and be ready to fight a kid, be ready to fight a teacher, be ready to fight the damn principal. Right? And we always talk about these women. Oh my gosh, they are so disrespectful. How they gonna do that in front of their kids? How could they act like that? Blah, blah, blah. This is one of those people. And now we understand where some of that comes from. This is a girl who spent her whole life feeling like her mother didn't love her and she was unwanted. And that her father, the only person that she felt like had her back or loved her, was a villain and a monster. Not just a villain, a monster. Because anybody that would have sex with their own children is a monster. And you have to believe that he's a monster. If you believe to be true, right? We also found out that the mother had suspicions that the father touched the oldest daughter and the daughter with the popsicle stains. Yet she didn't do nothing about the oldest daughter, but she took the youngest daughter to the hospital and tried to file charges on the father with the youngest daughter, or the middle child. Which again goes further into the belief that you didn't really truly believe that that man violated that child. Because why wouldn't you protect both your children? Or try to? Then you going around telling people the oldest daughter is being raped and she must like it. Because she's staying with the daddy. When she had a child, oh, that must be her father's child. He the father and the grandfather. How could you be so hurtful? You have destroyed a whole generation of that family. And when the father finally came out and found it to be true, you couldn't even describe probably what that man was feeling. And he said, I can't forgive you. He said, because I can't even put it into words how you destroyed my life. You took away his children. It sounds like they live in an area where maybe it's a middle small town. Like, I don't think it's like a small town, but I don't think it's like a major metropolis. So everybody know your business. Everybody knows that this is what you said about this man. Now, we did find out that the man had hit her. And he said, now, what the stuff she describes didn't happen. Now, I'm going to say this. I'm going to tend to believe that man hit that woman more than once. And I'm going to tell you why. Because that's the only thing that she defended. When all that stuff came out about her lying about the daughters and lying about the husband, and when all that other stuff came out, she was very meek. She tried to and sidestep and talk and try to make excuses. But when they got to the abuse situation and he started acting like he ain't put his hands on her, she said, oh, no, we don't want to stop this right now. You did that. I mean, she was very adamant. I mean, she defended herself with that one. So I don't know, y'all. I tend to lean that maybe that part is true. And I'm not defending no man putting his hands on a woman, so I ain't going to defend that. But I think that further lends to her anger and wanting to see him pay. And wanting to see him be punished in some way, right? The other thing I liked was that Iyanla kept calling this an infection, and she kept using the comparison that this whole thing was an infection. And when she got to the end, she said, the thing about an infection is when you take your penicillin, it doesn't mean the infection is gone. She said, I'm just dealing with the inflammation. And I can't stress enough that this family needs continuous and intense therapy, because it was so much in such a small period of time. I mean, what we saw was edited down to an hour, but this was a weekend like a weekend retreat situation. But even that is not enough. Even that's not enough. When it came out that the oldest daughter, in her anger, and Iyanla had to give it to her straight with no chaser. She was like, because it was a situation where they had to, she got up like she was going to fight the sister, and the sister was questioning her parenting, and she was like, you're not going to be talking about my parenting skills. You can say a lot of stuff, but you're not going to call me a bad mother. And Iyanla said, but you are. You are. She said, if you are this violent in front of your children, and if this is who you are in front of your children, that doesn't mean, and she made the distinction. She said, that doesn't mean that that you don't take care of your children and you don't mother your children. She said, but you are a bad mother. And when Iyanla first said something about them getting therapy, she was like, why? I said, see, here we go with this bullshit. You don't think you need some therapy? You don't think you need to sit with a professional and have an ongoing conversation and work some of this shit out? You've got 30-something years of this festering in your body. You didn't think your mother wanted you. You didn't have a relationship with your sisters because you were jealous of them, and they were jealous of you because they said you had daddy. We didn't get daddy. We come to find out when the father would come to pick the other daughters up to take them out, she called the damn police. The mama would call the police on them. So everybody's perception is their perception, and my perception is my reality. But what they need to work on is being able to see life through the other person's lenses. And I think the other sisters are further along in that process than the older sister. All of them got a lot to do. All of them have a long way to go. A long way to go. And the father said he didn't blame those daughters because they only knew what they were told. He said I believe that in their heart of hearts they knew I didn't do nothing to them, but what were they supposed to say? And the first thing the mother going to say to him, instead of saying, I'm sorry, she going to say, well, if you knew it wasn't true, why didn't you fight harder for your children? Bitch, what? You done called the police on the man. You had him arrested for kidnapping. What do you mean not fight harder for your children? Now again, we don't know all the ins and outs and all the specifics, but we know now, just even from the Me Too movement, the accusation alone is enough to kill you or kill your career. You know what I'm saying? The accusation enough is enough. So this man had been accused of raping his daughters. What was he supposed to fight? How was he supposed to fight? Y'all, I said I was going to talk for 10 minutes because I'm just off the dome. It's so much. Um, but I'm going to say this about the oldest daughter. With all of her anger, she better than me because I don't. Not the oldest daughter, the middle daughter. Hell, all the daughters. They took it. I believe that the part of them knew it wasn't true too, because they took it real calm. Because I would have, when I tell you how to cuss that woman out, and I know she my mama, and my real life mama, I would never cuss my mother. I mean, never cuss my mother. I mean, never cuss my mama. But that woman, if that had been me, oh yeah, I'd have cussed her. So they took it a whole lot calmer than I would have taken it, and that's why I say a part of me feels like they did believe that their father never did anything to them, because the minute them test results came back, honey, I'd have went off. Now I'd have calmed down and we'd have got back to the process, but in that moment, I know me, my first reaction would have been to cuss that woman out. Do you hear what I'm telling you? Anyway, y'all, if I think of something else to say, I'll do a part two. But I think that's it. I just, and the one thing I'm going to say, I said last season when a lot of the shows, it seemed like no matter what we talked about, no matter what the topic was with Iyanla, it always came back to a sexual violation to a daughter at a young age. And this mother, this started, I could say this is where it started, but on the show, it seems like it started from this mother being raped at 12. Y'all, it's a lot. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think. Drop it in them comments. Peace.